incredibly hard to grab anything. Okay, thank you, Captain. Thank you, distinguished guests, family and friends, current COs, past COs. Appreciate your presence here. I have a speech written and I'm not going to stick to it just because it's hot. And I figure that these gloves work better as sweat reducers than they do as anything else. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the most important part about the bikes, and I've been doing breathing exercises. So if you hear me choke up a little bit, it's just to try to contend with this belt around my chest. That's rough. Yeah. Think of that as well. All right, but as Captain said, I couldn't have done it without this crew and the crews before them, and even the crews before that when I was on bikes the first time. And I'm very happy to have three of them here: Nick Radakovich, Andy Ellis, and Isaac Harjo. They were my deck force when I was here as a BM2, and I'm eternally grateful that they made it here. And just as well, CWO retired Randy Maxton and CWO retired Mo Etienne were my two commanding officers when I was here. And to say that I was not influenced by both of them would be a huge exaggeration. I remember their change in command and being over here with you guys, which reminds me, I wanted to take this opportunity to cut you guys slack one last time. Please have a seat and relax. And when I call your name to address you, just please stand so everybody knows who I'm talking to. But have a seat. Back here. All right. So anyway, I wanted to talk about the crew because that's more important than anything that we've done. Cadet Johnson, who is here with us in the back, he's the sound man. He's been assigned vice for a short period of time, but he's fit in very nicely. In fact, he's fit in so well that he's often been mistaken for another member of the crew, Seaman Heidi. And funny to the guys because they know about it. Cadet Johnson has done a great job so far, and I'm sure he'll make a fine ensign. If not, he certainly has a future at Staples. Due to the laughter, see, I have to. This is how the mess deck goes at lunchtime and coffee break. I make a joke, and there's a pause, and they're like, "Hey, Captain, just made a joke. We better laugh." Okay, so then you have Seaman Toledo, who just reported yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. Thursday, so yesterday. Okay, I'm literally meeting him for the second time. He handed me a flag. Welcome aboard. I got to tell you, this is the best unit they will ever be at. So it's all downhill from here.
Not yet.
If you're lucky, maybe you'll get a second tour on her like me. You wanted to go be up, so that possibility certainly does exist. Seaman Heidi. This young man, they mentioned my efforts in the football game, but this young man right here is an absolute animal on the football field. And he's a huge part of the reason why we came in second place. Seaman Heidi's having a little difficulty trying to decide whether he wants to be a MST or a DC, but he says he's likely to choose the one that he'll be able to beat off more. So basically MST. Sit down, lady. Alright, I'm going to have to read my speech out already. Seaman first. This is a stand-up young man. Very responsible, super responsible. He's the kind of young man that a parent would lend their car to for great lengths of time. I'm talking like a whole tour. I would. I'm not sure what his hobbies and interests are, but I'm pretty sure paddleboarding is one of them, just based on how excited he gets when they paddle by the boat. Okay, Seaman Morrison, you're next. Seaman Morrison's last day is today. He's departing for BMA school. This young man is like one of the most polite, friendliest, nicest young men that I've ever met. He's also quite the fisherman. In fact, he's caught the same 48-inch snook about 4 times now. He keeps going back to the same spot, catching the same fish, taking pictures, and then bragging about all the snook that he got. It might even be different outfits and the same fish at the same time. I'm not sure. Okay, all right. Fireman Coloma. Woo. They're ready. ready for this one? Cologne's been around a while. In fact, after me, I'm pretty sure he has the most time on board out of the entire crew here. Frankie, as we call him, has become one of our go-to guys out on deck, seriously. Frankie's hobbies and interests include taking GoPro videos, parking on the beach, volunteering for community service, and deep discussions with his leading PO. Petty officer, I believe that stands for. Okay, all right, environmental setup. Go ahead. MK3 Good. I haven't had much time to work with Good, but from what I do know about him, he is a quality guy. That is that he runs around the ship claiming to control the quality. Chief Wright calls him Sunshine, which is a reference to a movie I don't know. But I do know that he's from Alabama, and he drives a Corvette, not a monster truck. And I think those are both good things. Come on, that was good. It was really good. Okay, all right.
You're just supposed to laugh, and everyone will know.
Yeah. Come on. MK3 Alex Mullen. Okay. I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but okay, the secret's out. Alex, you're my favorite crew member. I'd like to think that comes as a surprise to you because of my egalitarian nature. You know, I'm sure it's a surprise to the rest of the crew because I treat everybody equally. But I can't really pinpoint the reason why he's my favorite. But I think it has something to do with the first day he reported. I asked him what his hobbies and interests are, and he stood mightily in front of the mess deck, flexing his guns, saying, "Working on these guns." From that moment, I knew he was special. Alex is passionate about a few things: rice, free popcorn refills, hot dogs, squeezed cheese, and ducks. And all of those are good things, but none of them explained his nickname, Noodles.
Poor guy.
Okay, DC2 Bartlett. I knew I wasn't going to remember. I'm sorry. I know his name is Max, because that's like the most awesome name you could have. He just reported, and I don't know that much about him as I had trouble remembering his last name. I'm sorry. But before he arrived, the crew was saying the same thing they said about the last DC2 is, he's got to be better than the last guy. All right.
Anyway.
Okay. BM2 Leo. Stratton Leo. He's the first lieutenant. An emotional response from me because that's the job that I feel. He leads the deck force. As I mentioned, my deck force is here. He's got his deck force there. I'm sure one day he'll be calling upon them in the crowd like I'm calling upon you guys. Anyway, he's in charge of deck force, which takes care of all the rigging and making the ship look good. And he's done a spectacular job. I'm really happy to have the ship there in the backdrop today. If it was at the South Moorings, you'd all be sitting right up to it and you wouldn't be able to see it. So all of his hard work is right there at present. Okay, get back on track here. So anyway, he's responsible for making sure the ship looks good. And it makes sense that he's concerned with appearances, seeing as how much he talks about his appearances on Coast Guard Florida. Don't grimace too much, Leo, because my original roast had something to do with baby clothes and performing my first marriage as a child. All right. DM2 Stevens. DM2 Joshua the Eagle Stevens. Wow, what a blessing to have this guy. Josh is the Ops Petty Officer aboard. And for those who don't know, that basically means he's a quartermaster. Now, Josh is very versatile. He does the ops job and comes out on deck and primary deck supervisor. And just an outstanding sailor, and I'm glad to have him sail with you. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, sir.
All right. FS2 Steins. I ain't going anywhere. It's not an issue. All right. I thought there was a possibility he might not be in formation, but he is, so thank goodness. This guy is the most amazing cook. The best in my Coast Guard career by a long shot. Also the biggest. I'm not sure what to attribute his superior cooking skills to, but I've narrowed it down to 3 options. God-given talent, years of training, or more than likely, Siri. Siri, how do I make this? I got a DC2 in here somewhere. DC2, what's his name again? DC2 Coleman, The Legend of Zelda. I'm not sure where to begin with him. He's a very talented damage controlman. He's a very likable guy as well. I mean, everybody wants to like him, but clients won't let that. DC2 is he's a pretty solid car enthusiast. That is to say, he'd be very enthusiastic if he owned a solid car. Thank you, DC2. Okay, MK1, Jimmy Fox McQuilkin. MK1 is an AEPO. He's a bit of a quiet guy, outstanding engineer. If anything's ever broke, or if things were never broke, I would never know he was there. In fact, I remember one time I sent the 2 chiefs to MK1's house to try to find out a little bit more about him, but he must have sensed they were coming, and he left before they got there. Thank you, MK1. Appreciate the hard work. Not on the ball, but what's the funny one? All right, okay. MKC Dan Hayes, if you please stand. He's in the audience. He's since transferred to station Miami Beach, and he was an EPO for the majority of my time here. And what a great guy. So calm, collected, and cool. And he never missed a scheduled underway day while he was attached. Dan's hobbies and interests include fixing things that aren't broken, fishing but not catching, and preparing for the zombie apocalypse. Dan has 2 dogs named Guns and Ammo. Thanks. And finally, BMC Wright. Okay. I know I said Alex is my favorite, but you see I got choked up on the 2 BM, 3 BM. Well, that's still considered gossip program. No, I'm just kidding. I love him. What an amazing guy this guy is. Blessing to have him. From the first day he reported aboard, he impressed me by recognizing the key step in the evolution of the pile punching process that's crucial to punching a pile straight. And since then, I think he's even punched a few piles straight. If not, the first time, after knocking it down, punch it again the second time. Appreciate it. All right. So anyway, you guys get the idea. I could go on for days about this, but sincerely, I'm grateful for every one of you. You made my last year here totally enjoyable. They were all enjoyable, but the last year was by far my favorite. I'm truly going to miss our mess deck roasting sessions and the actual food that's served as well. So, to my family and friends that went out of your way to be here today, truly appreciate it. It means the world to me. I have so many special people in my life. Breathing exercise, and I'm truly blessed beyond measure. My toughest challenge from this point forward, I even wrote this, so like in anticipation, will be getting through the rest of the speech without tearing up, and then after that, moving to New York without breathing. Without the people who mean the most to me in the world. They're sitting right over here. My 4 beautiful children. Amazing woman in my life, Brandy Tackett and her children. My sister, my nieces, my best friends. Without them, none of this means anything, because who else are you going to brag to? You know? Recognize Jim Allen over there, great mentor, fellow W4 now. He can no longer rub in that I'm not a W4, or that I'm just a boot W3 or W2. That's it. So now I will now read my orders if I can find them. I have my clothes on, so it shouldn't be too hard. This is the second time he's had to remind me. In lines of the people that I appreciate the most. One in particular has done more for me in recent times than any other. And that's for him. From Commander, Coast Guard Personnel Command, to Chief Warrant Officer Phillips. Orders new assignment. Proceed and report to IROC Detachment New York. These orders constitute permanent change of station.
Attention orders. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Chief Warrant Officer Paul Curtis, respected commanding officer, Coast Guard Advice.
I will now read my orders. From Commander, Coast Guard Personnel Command, to Chief Warrant Officer Paul Curtis. Subject, orders, new assignment. Proceed and report to Coast Guard Cutter Vice, St. Petersburg, Florida, for assignment as commanding officer. We gotta go on this side now.
Oh,